everyone! Today I've got another do-it-yourself kind of crafty video for you guys. Today we're going to be making a really nice distressed looking vase decoration that you can put on a bookshelf or anything like that that needs a little dressing up. And we're going to be using mason jars for this. I thought it looked really cute, and I wanted to make one for myself, and I'd like to show you guys how to do it too. It's really very simple and easy to do, and I think you guys are just going to love it. So let's get started on that right away. Okay, so here are the items we're going to need for this project. So we're going to need 3 glass mason jars, whatever colors of the Martha Stewart Craft Multi-Surface paints you want, and then some foam brushes. So for the colors of the Martha Stewart craft paints that I'm using is beach glass, porcelain doll, peppermint bark, and wild salmon. Now for one of my smaller jars I'm going to be mixing the wild salmon and the peppermint bark together just because I couldn't find the right color I wanted, so I'm going to create that myself. So I got these mason jars from Michael's. The 2 small ones were $1.99 each, the large one is $3.99. I also got the craft paints and the brushes from Michael's as well. The other things you're going to need is just a little bit of sandpaper, whatever grit you like, and then some plastic containers or lids to mix your paints on. Alright, so the first jar I'm going to be doing is the large one that's going to be in the middle, and I'm going to paint that one with the porcelain doll color. So this whole part's going to be pretty straightforward. Just squirt a little bit of your paint onto one of your plastic lids or containers, and then we're just going to paint the entire jar in this white color. We're going to make sure not to paint the bottom part because we don't want paint there. It may rub off on other things, although this paint is supposed to be permanent after 21 days of curing, or if you'd like to expedite that process, you can bake these in the oven the same as the glass paints. So let's just get this one painted and then we'll move on to the smaller ones. And then once you're finished painting this one, we're going to set it aside and let it dry for about an hour. While you're waiting for that to start drying, you can move on to your other ones. So moving on to our second jar and our first smaller jar, I'm going to do it in this turquoise color, which is called beach glass. And again, painting this one pretty straightforward, so I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward this part. Alright, now I'm going to paint my very last jar, which is the second small one, using a mixture of the peppermint bark and the wild salmon. I couldn't find quite the right color, which was a peachier pink, so I'm going to mix those two, and then just to desaturate it a small bit, I'm going to add a tiny amount of the beach glass color. So I'm just going to mix these colors up until I'm satisfied, and then once I've got that color I'm looking for, I'm going to paint this jar the same as I did the other two. So once again, since this is a pretty straightforward step and you've seen it already, I'm just going to fast forward right on through this part for you guys. Alright, so now I've got all 3 of my jars painted, and I'm going to let this first coat dry for about an hour before applying the second coat. So let it dry for about an hour, and then do your second coat, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I've got all 3 of my jars painted with 2 coats and ready to move on to the next step. So in between the first and second coat, I had to hit each one with my hair dryer for about a couple minutes each, just to get that first layer dried a bit more and make the second layer or the second coat easier to apply. That really helped me out a lot. So I've got those 2 coats, and then once that second coat dried for about an hour, I was able to put them in the oven. And again, you put them in a cold oven. You allow them to heat up while they're in the oven to the 350 degrees. Once the oven reaches temperature, you start timing for 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, turn your oven off and you let them cool down completely in the oven before taking them out. Once you've done that, the paint is completely cured, and it's really, really hard and durable, and you can't scratch it off or anything. And the packaging says that these should be dishwasher safe. So that's really great. So now that we've done that, we can move on to the distressing part. So what you're going to need is some sandpaper, and this is what I'm using. It's an 80 grit coarse paper, but you can just use whatever you have or whatever you want. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by just lightly sanding on the corners where the jar would probably normally wear over time just with use, and also you're going to hit the lettering and just sand off the paint from the top of those raised letters. So I've already done the turquoise one, as you can see, and then I'm going to show you on this one what I did. So for the lettering, you want to keep your sandpaper as flat as you possibly can to try to avoid hitting the paint that's not on the raised lettering. If you hit it a little bit, that's not a big deal. It's a distressed look, so pretty much anything goes. But just try to sand the paint just off of the raised lettering. So you can see what we're trying to achieve here. So as flat as possible, and just lightly sand off the paint from all of the lettering. Okay, so I've shown you this step. You know what we're going for here. Now I'm going to move on to showing you how I distressed the corners and things like that. So just take your paper, and then you're just going to start sanding on the corners in a circular motion, just to kind of get that sort of circular wear, and then you can start moving the distressed look in the direction you want to go, either down the side or across the top, or however you like. So just try to keep these jars unique. Obviously, a jar's not going to wear exactly the same, so each one should look slightly different. So you really can't make too much of a mistake with this. So there, now you can see the one corner that I've got done. I'm going to get this one all finished up, and then I'm also going to do my larger jar. And once I've finished all 3 of these, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you guys how mine turned out. Okay, so here's all 3 of my jars finished. I've got all the distressing done. As you can see, each one looks just slightly different, and you can see where I've distressed them along the bottom and where the lid would screw on, and then on the jar itself, the lettering, and just around the corners and stuff like that. So these are ready to go. They're ready to put flowers in. I'm really pleased with the way they turned out. And now these should be safe to be put in your top rack of your dishwasher when they need cleaning. And on the inside, as you can see, there's no paint in there, so having water in there for an extended period of time will be fine, and safe for your flowers as well, so that's great. If you feel you want a little bit of extra protection, you can spray it with something like this clear matte coating, and I'd make sure to choose the matte just so that you don't take away from the look that we're trying to achieve here. But that's it, guys. I hope yours turned out as well as mine, and I hope you guys have fun with these. They look awesome. Alright everyone, so that was the tutorial for making this really awesome vase decoration. I hope you guys really liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep up to date with when I'm doing new videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also, you can come and find me on Facebook and Twitter. It's The Creative Glow, and you can come and follow me on my super fun blog, thecreativeglow.blogspot.com. I'll be leaving all of the links and all the information in the description of this video below. Also, if you have any questions or comments or just want to say hi, please leave those in the comment section of this video and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I really want to thank you guys for coming and spending this time with me today. And I hope you all have a really awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!